Specialist Jessica Bruns, we have worked together to instill teaching Hunter boundaries and personal space. Because of what may seem normal everyday reactions for you and I isn't the same for a child like Hunter. Although he still had his meltdowns, problems in class, they started becoming fewer and fewer. Between Miss Heater, Mrs. Bruns, Mr. T, Mr. K, and Deputy Kistler, Hunter has made significant progress in school. Now, with that being said, the last 2 weeks, minor problems Hunter had told me about escalated to a dangerous learning environment. January 14th, 2020, when I picked my kids up after school, Hunter was extremely upset, stating the little girl in his class forcefully kept trying to kiss him on the lips, hugging him and slapping his butt. Not the worst thing that could possibly happen, but it makes it challenging after months of teaching him about personal space. That evening, after I had put my other children to bed, I asked Hunter to tell me about the rest of his day. That's when he stated, getting upset, explaining he watched the same little girl inappropriately grab their teacher, then smacked her across the face, followed by the little girl taking a pair of scissors, threatening to kill another student. I called Miss Heater to verify if the story was true, and in fact it was. Hunter said he didn't want to go back to school. He was tired of the girl and was afraid. The next day, January 15th, I went to school with Hunter, reassuring him nothing would happen to him because I assumed she had been suspended. After all, she did threaten to kill another student with a weapon. I went directly to the principal, Mr. Callum, asking the course of actions that were being taken. He told me all reports were made and he was doing all he could. I wasn't satisfied by this, and I took to Facebook asking what I could do to keep all children and staff safe. By 1 p.m., I got a call. Hunter was hysterical because this child was back at bothering him and harassing him again. I went and picked him up early and extremely livid. Hunter is not always the innocent one, but he has been suspended immediately for lesser charges. Yet this girl pulls what she did, endangering everyone she had come into encounter with, and was back at school the next day. That evening, I attempted to file a report with the sheriff department, but was told it would be redundant to the reports that were already being filed at school. The child's mother informed me on Facebook that the child's mother informed me on Facebook on a public post that her child had been suspended. Nevertheless, the damage had already been done. With 23 schools and 23 different guidelines, what protocol are we supposed to follow? But this protocol now caused my son to be put back into an unsafe learning environment the very next day. Thursday, January 16th, I kept Hunter home from school and asked for an emergency visit from his psychologist, Erica, from Baycare. He was so over everything by this point, it took a lot of convincing for him to go back to school on Friday. But he did, and it ended up being an amazing day. He was actually smiling when I got him, something I haven't seen in quite some time. Tuesday, January 21st, after a 3-day weekend, Hunter was once again reluctant to go back to school. Once again, I had to reassure him everything would be fine. Well, I was wrong. Erica, his psychologist, had gone to school for their weekly school session, and that's how I found out the little girl was back at school after only a 2-day suspension and attempted to hit him yet again. Tuesday evening, he tells he was attacked by another child with an object he described as a glass piece or possibly a broken hard plastic. He was sent to the clinic, but no one called, and neither was a slip sent home from the clinic that day. Once again, called and verified the story to be true. I then called the sheriff's department, and this time I did a sworn statement. Was informed video surveillance was being pulled from the classroom, and they had to get all their ducks in a row because children are involved. I completely understand, but this raises some serious concerns and safety problems. My first question is, at what cost is it going to take to keep all children and staff safe? January 22nd, Deputy Kistler and Mr. Calumet called me, explaining that things were being taken care of, plus ensuring Hunter's safety. Why did it take a week to take care of this? In all reality, I will have my children in this district for the next 16 years, with Hunter having 7 years left. So even though this situation may have been taken care of for the time being, what measures will be taken so this doesn't happen again or to another child or teacher? Integrating children who are violent with a disability with children who are not has been proven to be a disaster in the last 2 weeks and also an unsafe learning environment. Keeping the violent kids around nonviolent children has already shown the effects of how it is teaching them a now learned behavior. These children are extremely smart, but each have different disabilities that I feel need to be addressed individually. As a parent in today's society, I fear for my children's safety. These past 2 weeks, that has intensified. These children need additional help, not at the cost of putting other children in danger.
Idea to threaten 3 students today. He is suspended until Thursday. However, I refuse to pick him up because he wants to come home. And that's what these kids do. They have learned to manipulate the system to where they do these things to go home. No. So I told Miss Langworthy throw his butt in ISS. He wants to act like an asshole? Then treat him like one. I'm not tolerating this for my 13-year-old, especially considering the fact of all the hell that I've been raising to get the bullying out of our schools. Now, there also is the whole cause and effect, because you know what? There's still not a certified teacher in that classroom, and there's not really a lot of control. Therefore, these kids are bored out of their damn mind. I mean, I would too be if I was stuck in front of a computer doing ingenuity all day. So they're picking at each other. But no, I practice what I preach. So everyone else needs to get on board, because your kid is not always the innocent one.
Okay, hello. Now we're going to have some videos today about bullying because it is a serious problem. There's 4 videos altogether. We're going to talk about the first 2 that you see. The kid in this is 11 years old and he's being bullied. Looking for Alaska, the book that we read, is available to 11-year-olds. Bullying and sexual content is what's in the book. Now, this same kid at the age of 13 is the one that's bullying other kids. I understand her frustration with this kid, but leaving your unruly kid at the school for the teachers to have to deal with is not helping the situation at all.
It definitely isn't. And again, it ties into these books are available to minors under the age of 18.
11-year-olds.
11-year-olds.
The situation that she just described to you was around the age of 11 when this first happened to him. And it's exactly the kind of crap that's in this book, Looking for Alaska.
And this is a perfect example of why these books should not be available to minors under the age of 18. It's federal law. It's Florida statute law.
So let's take a
And
look.
it's morally the right thing.
Right.
Would you want your child or your grandchild exposed to this in young, impressionable ages?
Let's take a look at the next 2 videos, 2 other people who've come to the board recently and complained about bullying.
Our final speaker is Tina Vieira.
Okay, well, now my brain is just an absolute mess. Good evening, my name is Tina Vieira, and I'm here speaking tonight as a parent. I don't want to come off negative because I realize that you guys get that a lot, but one of the things I did want to kind of address as a parent is my concern about the level of discipline or disciplinary action that is or is not taking place in our schools. I feel a little bit disturbed because in the last 3 years, the amount of discipline that I'm hearing from my son that takes place in his classroom or in his school or in the cafeteria, and that's not addressed or is behind the scenes, or the level of bullying that he's coming home and telling me about, it's grown tremendously in the last few years. And I just really would like maybe some type of problem solving with regard to how that can be addressed. My biggest issue is, 1, the level of bullying and the things that my son tells me he had to deal with at the beginning of the year, and it stems from even last year. They subsequently had to change his class, which was amazing, and his school definitely handled it exactly how it should be. I know from a teacher's standpoint, the teacher doesn't hear it. Kids aren't dumb. They're not bullying in front of the teacher. So I don't blame his teachers at all. They're amazing. My son did not want to switch classes, but I know that he's in 5th grade and he's 11 years old and he's dealing with a lot of emotions tied to bullying that are not getting addressed. And one of the things that I kind of thought about was when I was growing up, we had peer mediators. And I don't know if that's something we can work on in this county, and just trying to get maybe kids to sit down and find common ground, because I think a lot of these kids actually might get along, and there might be something that they could either find a way to agree to disagree or find a way to kind of coexist. I don't know, but for me, it's alarming because it's coming from an elementary standpoint. The other concern that I have is the things that he tells me are just happening, and I'm concerned that it's going to take away from his education. So I want those 2 things to really be looked at and addressed as much as we possibly can. And like I say, I don't have all the answers, but if there's some type of committee or somebody that can maybe get together and brainstorm some ideas, I wish that it would be more at the forefront of what we're doing than, I don't know, I guess all the other stuff that we have to deal with. And I know it's a lot. And like I say, I know that you guys face a lot of negativity, and I don't want to be that parent, but I know what he's dealt with in the last couple of years, and it's getting a lot worse. So I would like that to be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you.
I live here in Brooksville. I have 2 students, one in elementary, one that he's in 6th grade. I'm trying to get him transferred to the correct school. He is autistic, high functioning. He got sent to Parrot. He has missed 18 days due to being put in suspension, due to being put in out of school suspension, in-house detention type situations with a disability. They are trying to get him to do sexual harassment classes because of a situation from his disability. With his disability, if he is told to do something, he's going to go do it. He does not know to connect that, hey, I'm going to have an issue. I'm trying to get him moved from Parrot to West Hernando Middle School. Transportation, he's been out of Parrot now for a week. Transportation, 0. He is missed every day now because I can't get him to school. Nobody seems to have an answer. I'm calling every other day, if not every day, leaving voicemails with the lady answering the phone, left a voicemail on the director, or the whoever's phone number she transfers me to. I am getting nowhere. He has missed way too many days for the stuff that's going on. On that bus for Parrot, you know how many days those kids are popping those windows down, yelling inappropriate things to my child? They were throwing shoes at him, book bags at him, hitting him, cursing at him, trying to get him to say inappropriate words that are going to end up getting him stabbed on that bus. Nothing. But yet my son is the one getting put in suspension, out of school suspension, detentions. I'm getting called to come pick him up because of his safety, as they keep putting it. I don't know what to do. I just don't know now.
Ma'am, I certainly feel and hear your frustration. I'm going to ask that in the back of the room over here, we have Miss Michaelika and Miss Cropley. If you'll work with them, we'll see what we can do to help you out in any area, whether it be in special needs area or West Hernando or Parrot or transportation, any of those areas. Okay. Those ladies can help you.
Because I've been dealing with the counselors at Parrot. I've been dealing with the ones over at West Hernando, and I'm
again, I sense your frustration.
Yeah, I have to be to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't have a way to get my child to school after that.
Well, let's see what we can do to find a resolution.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, in our second set of videos, we have a parent who's also a teacher, and her son is 11 years old also, and she too is concerned about the bullying going on in the school for long periods of time, and still nothing is being done. Where is this behavior being learned?
Well, this particular parent is a teacher, and she's having all these issues, and the school isn't doing anything. She states for years it's been going on, and she also speaks about the discipline. I don't know, that's concerning to me. Sounds like the wrong people are being disciplined. I don't know the particulars on that, though.
Yeah.
Then the last video, this poor parent has certainly gotten the runaround. She's standing there in tears. That's unacceptable.
That's proof positive that the system has failed.
Absolutely. The school board has done absolutely nothing. And there's more videos. Go onto the school's website and look at past school board meetings, and you'll see there's other parents that come in there and complain about the exact same things. And nothing has been done, at least in the last several years. That's a failure.
Yes, it is. Thank you for watching our video. We'll be back with more.